Yeah. Okay, so the first one is, I just want to know what got you guys into games design, like what brought you into that as a career?
Let's see. In my case, my dad bought me a games console when I was 7, and I spent 3 or 4 years kind of doing designs for Super Mario levels on paper, and then that kind of just progressed to making little hobbyist stuff in sort of RPG Maker and doing some 3D graphics and stuff in 3D Studio Max, and then it just kind of progressed onwards from there, really.
I got into the games industry in 1981 when there wasn't really a games industry in the UK. So, and there weren't kind of game designers as a separate role, so I kind of invented that role.
Okay, next one, have you guys played any tabletop gaming like Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, anything like that? Do you guys ever
Yes.
play any of those? Do you still do? Or
I haven't played much tabletop stuff. I play trading card games more, so I play Magic quite a lot, and board games, but not what you would probably consider sort of large-scale tabletop games.
Yeah, I have played those, but when I was growing up, I guess they hadn't invented Dungeons and Dragons yet. So if that had been invented while I was at school, I could imagine I'd have been very excited about it and played it a lot. But
me and my friends have recently taken it out.
so yeah, I have played all those a bit.
This is the big one. So how much do you think tabletop gaming has influenced video gaming, like as a culture, and why? Like, if that makes sense.
So I suppose at a kind of mechanical level, the entire kind of role-playing game genre might as well be Dungeons and Dragons in one form or another. It's all driven by numbers and stats. Obviously, we've got things kind of like Diablo or Neverwinter Nights, that type of thing, that is the Dungeons and Dragons rule set, basically, with dice rolls and everything included. But yeah, any kind of role-playing game that I can think of kind of lends itself to that.
All of those grow out of the role-playing and the real-time strategy and things like that, grow out of tabletop wargaming and tabletop role-playing and games. If you look back to the early days of the games industry, I guess there were a couple of different routes for stuff. So you had the arcade machines, so you had all of the arcade gameplay. You had the adventure games, which kind of grew out of, I guess kind of fiction. There's the early kind of text-based adventures and so on, which is basically saying, oh, it's a bit like a book, but you get to make some choices. And then there's all the strategy games, which kind of, I think, grew out of paper-based games, tabletop games. And so you can see how there's kind of different routes for games now. And if you look at current games, probably if you go back a few generations, then you can see that link to tabletop paper-based games, and you can also interestingly see those games being emulated within kind of both computer environments and virtual environments. I can't remember the name of it. I was reading about a new VR game where it's kind of like a collectible card game, but they actually put the cards in the VR. So you got your headset on and you're playing with cards on a little table. Yeah, so you can see the influences there.
Do you think there'd be any sort of like crossovers there? Because I know there's a game that I quite enjoy playing. It's called Knights of Pen and Paper. It's basically just Dungeons and Dragons, obviously, but it's on. Yeah. So do you think that has eventually become a thing where there are crossovers?
I think crossover is interesting. I mean, you've got things that have kind of gone the other way. So you've got the Doom board game, for example.
And World of Warcraft board,
it's like we have
collectible card,
props ready to go.
Or Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering.
Just
And all that stuff.
throw stuff, throw stuff in front of the camera. Why not?
There you go. Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. endless games which have all been, you know.
So yeah, going the other way, definitely. Crossovers, I suppose the kind of logical crossover would be some kind of expansion of the ARG idea, the alternate reality game, which is kind of like what you were saying, I suppose, because you've got the reality of a trading card game that's been virtualised.
Yes.
And you're then, I suppose with a headset on, you're in a virtual environment, not an augmented reality environment, but you could easily play it in that way.
Yeah. There's certainly with mobile games, there's lots of games which have both kind of operate in the real world in a way that maybe they're aware of your location, it feeds into the game and so on. And are you thinking about? I mean, there are computer games which do have, you know, physical components that you can.
Yeah,
you know,
like Skylanders.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you already get that, and
Well, as one of your main references, Leather Goddesses of Phobos with its scratch and sniff cards.
yeah,
Can't go wrong with that.
absolutely. Yeah, which is obviously a little while ago. But there have been games where you have had physical components with them, which are supposed to enhance your gameplay experience. Oh, even if it, I guess even just getting a map with the game, you know.
Things like the Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the massive stats.
When you get something like that, your Elder Scrolls game. Look, we're full of props. Look at that.
That's very nice.
Lovely.
It's a beautiful thing.
A thing of great beauty.
Chris got one on
Skyrim.
Crossovers, ARG.
Yeah, and the last question is probably when you can be in the documentary, it's just more of a personal thing.
No, go on.
Would you prefer tabletop gaming or console gaming, would you say?
In most cases, only because it's what I grew up with mainly, I would say console gaming. But the downside to that, modern console games at least, most of them lack kind of sofa-based multiplayer, which is where physical games, doesn't do like board games, card games, anything like that. The social element of those is much more direct. I don't play console games online ever, because I generally dislike people online. Whereas people in real life tend to be better people. Otherwise, I wouldn't choose to associate with them. So yeah, I would say console games generally, unless I was specifically looking for a kind of a social activity.
I think it's one of those it depends questions. So at Christmas, when it's the whole family round the table, then we'll play Settlers of Catan, and we'll have a lovely board game experience. It'll be nice, and we'll have a drink, and it'll be fabulous. But day to day, I don't get the opportunity to do that so much. So I'll play PC games. You know, so it's kind of context. I mean,
well, there's minimal setup time for a digital game. You don't have to get it all out and get the pieces and all.
No. It's I think it's organising to. Maybe that's an age thing, but it's organising to have all the people you want to play with in one place at the same time, and then get all the bits out. You know, it takes more organisation than I'm just going to play Pillars of Eternity for half an hour.
Grand Theft Auto Online, it's just something that all my friends have. So for that, it's just boot it up. Load up. We're going to play Dungeons and Dragons.
It's a whole event. That's a really interesting question, and I think there's an underlying assumption there about some kind of equivalence to the board game experience and the computer game experience, and maybe there isn't. You know,
I think now they serve different purposes. In my opinion, that purpose is social. Well, it's kind of the same with your Christmas example. I associate that type of game with family time mainly. Yeah.
So you know, and you wouldn't kind of necessarily sit around. I don't know, but then.
Well, I
around
don't know.
Christmas I do
My
play-
nan used to be a pretty mean Mario Kart player.
Yeah, we do play multiplayer as well at Christmas, but you know.
As I say, I took my Xbox to my mum's last Saturday for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
all right.
thank you very much for that.
That's right.
That's all right.
It's all-
It's our pleasure. Well, was that okay? Did it all go horribly out of focus when
Yeah,
I was
no,
lifting
it's
stuff
all
up, or
fine.
was that all right?
Yeah, no, I focused it in on the filing cabinet there.